Setting up your meeting.
No, it's streaming. Going.
Okay, why can't I see the screen?
Well, welcome everybody. While Dr. Sheila is trying to find her way back to the Zoom call, this is the Wow Wellness team with Solex, and we are here to do some testimonials about our device. But our leader, Sheila, well, I don't know. Are you back with us yet, Sheila?
I am sorry.
There you go.
Technical difficulties. So we are so excited. This is our favorite time of the week. Not only do we have the Wow Wednesday testimonials, but we've also got the weekly Solex update. But we are doing some new things here because we want to get this out to more people. So we have this live streaming now into our YouTube page, our team YouTube page, and our team Facebook page. And we are just trying to reach more people with the amazing experiences that people are having with our advanced AO scan technology and other things that Solex continues to bring to us, advanced technologies, new advanced supplements that are blowing our minds. But this is an opportunity once a week for us to come together. And by the way, the live stream is great, but if people aren't in the room, we don't have a lot of conversation. So that's one thing we learned tonight.
Yep, absolutely. You learn by trying.
So still log into the Zoom call for those of you that have testimonials or different ways that you're using the technologies. Because we all learn from this. We've been doing this call since January of 23, and we all learn something new every single week because this technology is so advanced. There's so many different ways to use it, and it clicks differently with different people.
Yep.
And every week I hear somebody say something, I'm like, oh my gosh, I never thought about that. So it is such a blessing for you to show up and give us some of your experiences or different things that you're doing. Dr. Darrell, do you have anything to add to that?
As far as the coming in here, yeah, absolutely. Just show up each week. Everybody who uses the AO scanner uses it a little bit differently. Everybody who has various experiences will experience things that are different. So sometimes people are coming in there looking just to make a testimonial, but in making testimonials, sometimes you learn things. I learn things all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've got one of our members here all the way over in Europe that stayed up until 2 o'clock in the morning to be here. Martina, do you have anything to share at all?
Let me take off my hold on a second. Sorry. Oh my God. Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank also Dr. Darrow because learning about the mind sync. I didn't do it very often, and then I heard what you said, and I started doing the mind sync. And I was listening to my own voice, and I had three mind sync affirmations, different ones that I was listening to every morning before I go to work, had my headphones on, and to realize, to hear my own voice, what you said, the power of it. You know, it's different when you hear an affirmation by someone else. Never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
So I started hearing it every morning. This was so powerful. It changed a couple of things, and I felt much more confident because I had self-confidence on there. I had money flow on there. And I just want to thank you because I realized what it meant to hear my own voice in the affirmation. And that is really powerful. And I can really tell people, do the mind sync and do it daily. It is so powerful. I've never really understood it. I was like, oh, I don't need any affirmations until you explained. And maybe you can explain it again here for everybody. It was mind-blowing. Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you. I didn't even originate this information. I stole it from other people. And so I appreciate Lauren for him explaining it and being the catalyst of making it. But from what I do understand that we hear voices all the time and we hear people talking to us. We're mostly programmed by other people. And it takes a lot to program us from other Well, there's a whole industry that's been made of that. You have television and radio constantly giving you the same information over and over and over again, because it takes a lot to program you. Your conscious and subconscious mind blocks out interferences or influences from other people. So you got to hear things over and over and over again. But when you are hearing your own voice in its authentic form, your mind doesn't really reject that. It just settles in. And when you are listening to your own affirmations, because affirmations, people are doing them forever, and they're good, they do work, but again, it's someone else actually speaking. When it's you, and you don't have to worry about whether or not it resonates with you, because it is you, and then you believe yourself, that's when the magic happens. Believing what you say. A lot of times when we try to raise people up, we're constantly telling them how good they are and how wonderful they are and how they do this and they can do that. But what we're really trying to do is to get them to believe it. So, but it's us telling them. But when they believe it, then they tell themselves, and they just propel. They might be rising up slow at first, but when they truly take it to heart, when they believe what's being said, they propel. So MindSync allows you to tell yourself these things, so you can bypass the brain rejecting it and just take off.
Yep. And for those of you out there who might not know what we're talking about, so AO scan technology has been around for quite some time, but one of the recent additions to our amazing scan technology has been a module called MindSync, and this is using affirmations to reprogram stinking thinking. Our subconscious minds are playing messages 24/7, and it's driving the way we feel, the way we act, decisions that we make, and it can drive our own health.
Yeah.
And most of the time, we're not even aware of those messages that are playing. But I can tell you, when you start speaking affirmations, for me, when I first started doing this, sometimes it was difficult for me to get the words out. And I thought that was really interesting, because it's like in my brain, I think I believe these things. I thought I believed these things, but why am I having an emotional response? Well, because there's messages in my subconscious that are playing that clash with what I want to believe about myself, who I really am, who I really want to be. And so hearing my voice speak these truths about who and what I am, they're clashing with what messages other people might have put there or things I might have adopted. Ooh, it was really difficult. But as I listened, I literally felt the cells of my body responding to my voice, going, oh, kind of like plants reaching for the sun, reaching for the truth, the life. And I literally feel like I wake up a new person every morning when I listen while I'm sleeping. It can completely transform your life. A lot of people have really strong results with inner voice because we're working on balancing emotions. I didn't experience a whole lot of big, powerful things, maybe a lot of little subtle things. But when I started reprogramming these bad messages that are in here, holding me back in life, keeping me from my full potential, my life started changing in profound ways. And I think if we had everybody just doing inner voice and mind sync, the vibration of this planet would completely transform. People's lives would be transformed. Their health would be transformed. Their finances, their relationships, everything. Just so grateful for Lauren and his amazing brain that just can't stop thinking about all these ways to help us.
Yeah.
Martina, thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And just, I hope that you're sharing that with everyone in your circle, because my goodness, how that can impact their lives.
We do right now.
Great. That's
I
our
do have
mission.
another testimonial about multicast.
Oh, great.
Since I've been working in a school for handicapped, disabled children as a nurse, I take care of a little boy right now who is really more mentally disturbed. He's not physically disturbed. He has a mental problem. So I put him in the scanner, and I've done the multicast, and I would like for you to explain it to the people, because it's hard for me to explain it, but I've done it for him every morning. And after a week, it was the first time that he was able to work from when school started till the break. And that was like an hour. He would sit there concentrating and he would work. That was not, he was not able to do that before. And that everyone would realize that something was different. And they was like, wow.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
doesn't do that now every day, but he's getting better. And but this was so amazing because I had used the multicast for him, just the flowers, and I just put self-confidence and love as an affirmation every day.
Gosh, that is wow.
Yes, that is, because I heard from Lauren about the testimonial, and I thought, well, I can try this with a little boy because I cannot harm him. You know, I don't have to ask him for permission because that little soul, he from Syria, his parents came here. I was a refugee worker before, and I know what the people went through. So I know that there is much more in his life, and people don't see it, you know, and I keep on doing it. So I'm on vacation right now, but I do it for him every morning.
Wow. Wow. Dr. Darrell, do you want to talk at all about the way that multicast works?
Sure. So we have something in our scan called Cephis. Subtle, what is it?
Subtle energy frequency imprints.
Yeah, subtle energy frequency imprint. And it allows us to tap into energy and allows us to save energy in various forms. But prior to multicast, we would go through and we would pull up a profile of somebody and we would create a playlist or go to a specific frequency and broadcast it. That's the way most people use the Cephi, is they would broadcast it. But with multicast, it now allows us to broadcast to multiple people at one time. I think up to 15. Is that what the number is?
16, I think.
Okay. 16. So 15 or 16 people at one time. And it's really helpful because you can save a specific list of people that you want to broadcast to and bring it up without having to go and find each one of them every single time. And so each one of them can get their own broadcast, their own frequency, but we can also now do a very quick scan to find out what flower essence can go along with that frequency. And when the flower essence goes along with that frequency, you're dealing with whatever that you be sending them that might be dealing with something physical, but then you're adding in the emotional component, which just makes it all work better. I know personally with people that I work with in practice, the emotional component is as important, or if not more important than whatever is happening physically. And so you're dealing with both of those at the same time, but you're able to do this with 16 people at one time versus one person at a time. Now, there have been ways for us to do more than one person at a time, but it took longer. You had to be on your computer and open up multiple tabs and things like that. So multicast shortens that up and it allows us to broadcast to a bunch of people at one time easily.
My favorite part of that is being able to scan for the emotion in flower, because before we can take a pretty good guess based on what we see or think. But again, subconscious mind is going 24/7 and we are not always aware of what's going on. And so when we scan and something comes up, we might not even be aware that that is an emotion that's really heavy. So I think that that is powerful now that we don't have to guess. We can find out exactly what's needed. And then so it's funny because when you do that scan and it pulls up the flower essence and the emotion that seem to be going on priority right now, when you start typing in that affirmation, the frequencies change a little bit based on the words now that we're implementing with the emotion that's going on. So pretend the note C comes up, and that's not just one frequency, but there's a pool of like 8 to 10,000 frequencies in there, and it's specific to you. So your C is going to be different than my C. So I really love that we have the scan option now. That's just, it's been powerful.
Yep.
What also helped me when I done this broadcast for this little boy, because I've been working with the Bach flowers for the last 20 years. I do know the Australian Bach flowers because they're very common here in Germany. So, and I work with frequencies myself since 98. So when the flowers show up and the meaning to it, it gave me impression what the boy is going through or what his problem is or what the support he needs. So in my way to act towards him changed. I could see him from a different perspective, and just seeing him and feeling him from a different perspective just made us work together closer. You know, the relationship between him and me, because I was new in the class, was changing in a
Wow.
positive way. And that's what I like, you know, and that's what I realized, because it already also done some with me, you know, in the interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Love multicast for my whole family, for my animals, for my friends. It's amazing. This is amazing.
What a gift to humanity. Wow. See, that's what my whole passion is on self-empowerment. And how much power does that give you now to interact with yourself and with those around you, the people you take care of? Wow.
Yeah.
So awesome.
I have something for multicast also.
Great.
Since we're on that topic at the moment. So the 19th of March was the anniversary of my son's death. On that day, actually a few weeks prior to that, we were invited to speak at a wellness day with high school. Already we knew that was going to be tough, but my daughter, his twin sister, and I went ahead and did it. We committed to doing that. So anyways, I had already been running the multicast on myself and all the kids, but on that day I ran a little bit extra. And we didn't do the full day, school day. We just did the last 2 sessions, the last 2 hours, school hours. And we survived through it. As I run, you know, the clearing, the shielding, the grief, the talking about I can't remember what else I had in there, but to help you be confident in speaking.
Large.
Yes, all of that. I ran just all of that. And yes, we cried. We did a lot of emotions because it's bringing it back, bringing what happened back to life each and every session. But we survived it. And I am very grateful to be able to put every single one of us on there compared to how we were doing it before with the group selfies. And that extra flower and the extra shielding, clear and shield, it's like sometimes it would be a hit and miss for me, but now I can just boom, 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 have it all. And it helped us all as a family get through
Wow.
the 19th. So yeah,
Bless you. Thank you so much for sharing that.
thank you. And thank Solex for
Thank you,
the
Solex.
technology to be able to take care of my children and my family and myself,
Right.
especially on that day. So yeah.
So for people who still might not understand what we're talking about here, people that this might be a new exposure. So we are talking about information technology. We're talking about frequency. Frequency has been around since the very beginning of time. Everything is frequency, and we have frequencies coming at us all the time that we can't control. But now, thanks to Solex and AOScan technology, now we get to be proactive about frequencies coming at us. We get to choose what frequencies we want. We get to choose what our subconscious mind is believing. We get to make all these choices now to support ourselves, to support our families, to support our patients. And we did forget to mention our disclaimer at the very beginning. We are not claiming to diagnose, treat, prevent, cure, mitigate anything. We are talking about information technology and frequencies. That is it. And we are controlling frequencies now, and we're getting information that help us with that. And I bet Dr. Darrell probably has something to add in there.
Well, we are not, as Dr. Sheila said, we're not diagnosing anything, but we're utilizing information to become our controlling our own bodies. We're utilizing all of this information to help us make better decisions.
Yes.
Absolutely. I had a I'm sorry, was there anybody else who wanted to say anything? So I had a client that I've been working with for about 7 or 8 months now. And this client has been sick since being under a year old. Some things happened in their early childhood that made them very, very toxic. And most of their life, they've been ill. So they've gone the gamut and tried this and they've tried that, and they've been just on a whirlwind of both medical and chiropractic and naturopath. But their time working with me over the last 7 or 8 months, I was told when it was time to decide if we're gonna do this again for a few months, absolutely, because I was told that more progress has happened since we started using frequency than any of the other stuff combined. And I'm talking about somebody that is in their 50s. So
Wow.
this was great to hear.
Wow. I'm just speechless.
Yeah. So we have something here that's pretty major, and we really, really have got to start utilizing it to our advantage. Dr. Janine was talking, she was yelling at me earlier today about how we have all of these things that we know about and all of these things at our fingertips that we're not utilizing enough. So she gave me a kick.
And that's why we do this call, because we want to reach more people. We want to empower more people because we've got something that is so advanced that can give us information nothing else can. And it is so easy to use to help ourselves, to help our families, our patients, our clients, our friends, our pets, our environment. And it's so affordable that every household can have it.
Yeah.
I don't know of anything more empowering than what we have here with AO Scan.
Absolutely.
Dr.
And both
Janine
you and
said
I have been
something
using
about
both you and I have been using it a lot of different things too. So we have things to compare it to. This isn't our
Absolutely.
our first stint on the rodeo.
No, we have a lot of years of other technologies and modalities to
Yeah.
compare. This takes the cake.
Absolutely.
We have less than 2 minutes before the weekly Solex call. Does anybody have anything real quick to share before we hop off? Oh, Tamara, tell us about it.
I just opened it. I got home and I'm like, ooh, I got 3 bottles.
I am
Don't
excited
take them
about
all at
this
once.
product.
You know,
Yeah.
right? Mike is my hard one that doesn't sleep, and we've been going through the process of building a house, and that's been stressful, whether to pull the trigger or not, and what to do. So normally I sleep really well. I think this is going to be very helpful tonight. So
We look forward to hearing more about that next week.
I'll give you a report.
And I think it's about time for us to close because we want to hear what Solex has to say tonight. We are so thankful for you to be here. And those of you who might have thought it was exciting to be on the live YouTube and the live streams on Facebook, we miss you in the Zoom room, and we would love to hear more from you next week. Dr. Darrell, you want to close us out?
Please join us back next week, and everybody who can join us live inside of the Zoom, do that. If anybody who is watching this is more interested in Solex, if you are not already involved and you want more information, somebody invited you to watch this. So just reach back out to that person and ask them how to get started.
Amen. See you all next week. Love you bunches.